Hello, students, and welcome to the science class. So, in our last lecture, we were over with our first chapter that was about the nutrition in plants. There, we were discussing what? There, we discussed about the modes of nutrition that are carried out in the plants, in the green plants as well as in the non green plants. So, we are having autotrophic mode of nutrition in the green plants, and we are having a heterotrophic mode of nutrition in the non green plants. So, we discussed about the nutrition in plants. Likewise, we will discuss the nutrition in animals also. So, let's start with the topic and nutrition in animals. Now, moving to the introductory part, we are all aware that plants make their food by the process of photosynthesis. But talking about animals, they cannot make their food themselves. So, from where animals get their food? They get their food from the plants. Now, since animals cannot prepare their own food, they depend on food prepared by the plants, and hence they are heterotrophs and they show heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So, they obtain their food from the green plants or the animals that feed on plants, and based upon the eating habits, the heterotrophs are classified into three categories. They were herbivores, carnivores, and the omnivores. In the category of herbivores, we have the animals which feed only on plants or the plant parts like cow, buffalo, goat, deer, rabbit, horse, elephant, etc. These are all the examples of herbivorous animals. Then the second category was carnivores. They feed on the flesh of other animals like lion, tiger, leopard, and panther. These are all the examples of carnivores animals. And coming to the third category, this is omnivores or the omnivorous animals. They feed on both the plants as well as animals like crow, pig, cockroach, bear, and we humans, we are also included in the category of omnivores. We feed on both plant and the plant products and the animals and the animal products. So the animals get the food from plants. Directly or indirectly, they are getting the food from plants. How? Some animals eat plants directly. Talking the case of herbivores, they are feeding only on the plants and the plant parts, so they are getting their food directly from plants. But talking of the case of a lion, it is included in the category of carnivores, and carnivores feed on the flesh of other animals. So say lion is eating a deer. So lion is feeding on some animal, but deer is eating what? Deer is a herbivore and deer is eating only the plants and the plant parts. So indirectly, the lion is also obtaining its food from the plant. How? Because lion is feeding on deer, but deer is feeding on what? Deer is feeding on the plants only. So directly or indirectly, animals get their food from the plants. And all organisms require food for their survival and for their growth. Now, the mode of nutrition in these herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous animals is called holozoic nutrition. Now, the holozoic nutrition, it is a new nutrition for you. It is a kind of new word for you. Now, what is holozoic nutrition? See, majority of animals take food in the form of solids, and this form of nutrition in which food is eaten in solid form by engulfing, it is called as a holozoic nutrition. And engulfing is what? It is actually when we take something completely inside us, that is engulfing. We take the solid form of food by engulfing it into our mouth. So that is the holozoic nutrition. However, we are having some other animals such as parasites, saprophagus, or the scavengers also. The parasitic animals obtain food and shelter from the host, and the host gives the food and shelter to the parasitic animals, and these parasitic animals may be endoparasites or the ectoparasites. So the endoparasites, they live inside the host body and derive the nutrients from the host's body, from the fluid, blood or the tissue of the host. For example, we are having malarial parasites, they reside in the RBCs, and we are having flatworms and roundworms, they reside inside the liver or the intestine and get their nutrients from there only. And then we are having ectoparasites such as ticks, mites, body louse and bed bugs. They cling to the body surface of the host. They are over the surface and they get their food from the host by sucking their blood. Then we are having saprophagous animals. They feed on dead and decaying matter of the animals and plants in the soil. And earthworms, these are the best example of saprophagous animals which live in the soil and feed on dead and decaying matter of the animals and plants. Then we are having scavengers. They feed on the body of dead animals only, like vulture, hyena and jackal. They feed on the dead animals. Whenever any animal is dead, they feed on it and destroy it. So they are involved in the process of cleaning also. Now the process of animal nutrition, it involves certain steps, certain processes, and these are the process of nutrition. These are involving, first is ingestion, then second is digestion, third one is absorption, fourth is assimilation and fifth is egestion. These are the processes of animal nutrition. So we'll discuss these 5 processes one by one. Now talking about these 5 processes we are having ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Let's first discuss the definition of these 5 processes. So first of all, we are having ingestion. So what is ingestion? It is the process of taking food from outside into the body. It is just the method how we get the food from outside and get it into our body. Now different animals use different methods for the ingestion of food. We'll discuss it separately, how different animals are using different methods for the ingestion of food. Now second one is digestion. Now the food we eat, that is actually having some complex form. Now this complex form should be broke down into some simple molecules, and this is carried out by the process of digestion. So digestion is the process of breaking down of food into simple soluble molecules by the action of some digestive enzymes. Now this process involves both physical and the chemical actions. Now the physical action involves chewing and churning. Now the chewing method is done in the mouth. So chewing in the mouth breaks down the solid food into some smaller pieces, and churning occurs in the stomach, which makes a fine paste of that small pieces of food, and it mixes with the gastric juices like bile juice. Then the chemical action involves the breakdown of some complex compounds into the simpler ones, and in the chemical action the nutrients are actually broke down into some smaller molecules. Like the nutrient carbohydrate, it is broke down into some simple sugars. And what are the simple sugars? Simple sugar is the glucose. Then the fatty acids. The fat nutrients are broke down into some fatty acids and the glycerol. The fatty acids and glycerols are the simple forms of fats. And then the proteins are made up of the chain of amino acids. So the proteins are broke down into the amino acids. Then comes the third process, which is absorption. So it is the process by which the simple and soluble molecules that are formed after the process of digestion, these are absorbed through the intestinal wall and are transported to the bloodstream. Then the fourth method is assimilation, and it is the process of utilization of these absorbed nutrients by the body cells for the energy and for the synthesis of new substances. And last one is the egestion, which is the process of getting rid of the undigested solid part. After the digestion part, absorption occurs, and then the absorbed material is utilized for the process of energy. But what about the undigested part? So the process of getting rid of the undigested solid part of the food, that is known as the egestion. We don't require that undigested part inside our body, so we should get rid of it. So the process of getting rid of undigested solid part of the food, that is egestion, and it is also called as defecation. Now talking about the first method, that was ingestion, that is the process of taking food from outside and getting it inside the body. Now different organisms take food in different ways. We are having different methods of ingestion for different organisms. Like the hummingbird, it gets its food by sucking the nectar of the flowers using its beak. Then the human beings, talking about the human beings, how we get our food? We use our hands to put the food into our mouth, and we just swallow the food after chewing. Then comes the infants of human and many other animals which feed upon their mother's milk. How they get the milk? They get the milk by sucking them from their mother. So these are different methods how different animals are using different methods of ingestion of food. Then coming to the another example, that is of snake, how it gets its food. Snake swallows the animals they prey upon without chewing them. It swallows it completely. Then the frog, it captures its prey with its sticky tongue. It is not using its hand to put the food inside the mouth. It is using its sticky tongue for capturing the prey. Then we are having spiders. Spiders do what? Spiders weave sticky web in which small insects get stuck, and it feeds upon those stuck insects. And we are aware of some aquatic animals like fishes which filter the tiny particles floating nearby and feed upon them. You must have seen some people which keep some aquarium inside their homes. Inside the aquarium, we are having different fishes which feed upon some tiny particles that are floating on the water, and it feed upon them. Then we are having a unicellular animal called amoeba that engulfs the tiny particles of food by using its false feet, which are called pseudopodia. We'll discuss the nutrition in amoeba separately. So amoeba do what? Amoeba surrounds the food by pseudopodia and then makes a food vacuole to engulf the food. Also, we are having some multicellular organisms like Hydra. There, the Hydra is having numerous tentacles around their mouths, and that Hydra uses these tentacles to surround its prey and kill them with its stinging cell. Then the food is pushed inside the body cavity. So these are some different organisms, some different methods of ingestion of food. how different animals use different methods for the ingestion of food. So today we just discussed the first process, that is ingestion. In the next session we will be discussing about the other processes like digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. We will discuss the digestion process in detail. We will discuss the nutrition in amoeba, nutrition in humans and the nutrition in ruminants in the further lectures. So till then, stay safe and stay healthy.